On a scorching July afternoon in Marana, Arizona, a quiet suburban home became the center of a national tragedy. A 2-year-old girl was found lifeless inside a parked car, her tiny body overheated beyond saving. Just a few feet away, inside the house, her father sat playing video games, unaware, he claimed, that his daughter was dying in the driveway. This is the heartbreaking story of Parker Scholtes, a case of forgetfulness, neglect, and the irreversible consequences of a father's fatal mistake. Christopher Scholtes was 38 years old, a husband and a stay-at-home father of 3, living in the quiet outskirts of Tucson. To neighbors, he seemed like a regular dad. He and his wife, Erica, a successful anesthesiologist, were raising 3 young daughters. The youngest, Parker, had just turned 2. She was bright, full of energy, and adored by her sisters. But behind the walls of their home, a different story was unfolding, one that would only fully come to light after tragedy struck. A story of secrets, addiction, and a pattern of recklessness that had been ignored for years. It was Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. The temperature in Marana was blistering, well over 100 degrees, climbing to a scorching 109. That morning, Christopher had taken Parker out for errands. When they returned home just before 1 p.m., Parker had fallen asleep in her car seat. Rather than wake her, Christopher made a decision that would haunt him forever. First, he made a stop at a convenience store. Surveillance footage shows Scholtes entering the store alone, leaving Parker in the car. He walks to the beer cooler, grabs 3 cans, and disappears into the restroom for several minutes before leaving without paying. His next stop was a grocery store. Again, Parker was left alone in the vehicle. 7 minutes later, Scholtes emerged with a few groceries and 2 more stolen cans of beer. At 12:53 p.m., a neighbor's security camera captured Christopher Scholtes pulling his Acura MDX into his driveway. This footage would become a critical piece of evidence, directly contradicting the story he would later tell investigators. He left the car running, with the air conditioner on, and went inside the house. He put away a single head of lettuce and then, by his own admission, he got distracted. He became absorbed in his game. For the next 3 hours, as the Arizona sun relentlessly beat down, Christopher Scholtes sat inside, immersed in a virtual world. He was drinking the beer he had stolen earlier, but his activities weren't just limited to gaming and drinking. In a disturbing revelation later presented in court, investigators discovered that during this time, Scholtes also used his PlayStation to browse adult content. Meanwhile, in the driveway, a fatal mechanism was at play. The car's engine, which Scholtes claimed to have left running, had a safety feature he later admitted he was well aware of. It automatically shut off after 30 minutes. The air conditioning died with it. Without air circulation, the SUV transformed into an oven. The temperature inside the vehicle began to rise rapidly, eventually reaching a lethal 109 degrees. By the time anyone realized Parker was still inside, it was too late. Her mother returned home around 4 p.m. A neighbor would later recall hearing the most horrible screams she had ever heard. Erica had discovered what her husband had forgotten. She found her baby unresponsive in the back seat.
No.
911, what is the location of your...
911, please.
What's the address? What's going on?
My baby was in the car. She's not responsive.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to transfer you to medical dispatch. Just stay on the line.
Oh, my God.
911, what is the location of your emergency? Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, and what are you reporting?
She was in the car, sleeping. She's unresponsive.
Okay, and who is she?
Please.
Who
My
is
daughter. My daughter. Please.
And this was out in the driveway?
Yes.
Is she still breathing?
No, she's not breathing right now.
Okay, we need to start CPR right now.
Yes, we are. We're starting CPR, yes. Oh, my God. My God.
And how old is she?
2.5. My God.
Okay, is CPR going on right now?
Yes.
Okay.
My God. My God. My God.
Erica, an anesthesiologist, immediately began CPR, desperately trying to revive her daughter. Paramedics rushed Parker to the hospital, but there was nothing they could do. She was pronounced dead. The Pima County Medical Examiner later determined her body temperature had reached 108 degrees. Her cause of death was heat exposure. At first, Christopher told police it had only been 30 to 45 minutes, that he had stepped out to check on her, that it was just a tragic accident. But the evidence told a different story. Security footage showed Parker had been left in the car for over 3 hours. As his daughter was being rushed to the hospital, a series of text messages between Christopher and Erica revealed a chilling truth. Erica wrote, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" Christopher replied, "Babe, I'm sorry. How could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real." As detectives dug deeper, they uncovered years of history. Even more disturbing, Parker's older sisters told police that their father had left them in the car before multiple times. One of the girls heartbreakingly told an interviewer, "He still drinks too much beer, and he keeps leaving us in the car when my mom told him to stop doing this. That's how he made my baby sister die." This wasn't the first time Christopher Scholtes had come to the attention of Child Protective Services. Between 2014 and 2020, he had been investigated 9 times by the Arizona Department of Child Safety for alleged neglect and abuse of an older daughter from a previous relationship. Reports included physical abuse, emotional mistreatment, and neglect. In one report, he was accused of calling the girl a mistake. In another, of ignoring her medical needs. His oldest daughter later confirmed the pattern, stating she had been left in hot cars for hours at a time when she was younger. Though none of these cases led to criminal charges, they painted a troubling picture of a father repeatedly accused of placing children in harm's way. Within days of Parker's death, Christopher Scholtes was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and child abuse. As evidence mounted, a grand jury indicted him on more serious counts, including first-degree murder. Initially, he pleaded not guilty and was released under strict conditions. In March 2025, prosecutors offered him a deal: plead guilty to second-degree murder and serve 10 to 25 years in prison. He refused, opting to face trial and a potential life sentence. Then came a decision that sparked public outrage. While awaiting trial for his daughter's murder, Christopher was granted permission by the court to travel to Hawaii with his wife and surviving daughters for a vacation in May 2025. To many, it was a slap in the face, a man facing a murder charge taking a family vacation. Months passed, and his trial date of October 27th loomed. But then, in a sudden reversal just days before his trial was set to begin, Christopher changed his mind. He accepted a new, harsher plea deal. He pleaded guilty to an amended count of second-degree murder and 1 count of intentional or knowing child abuse. In court, he showed emotion, acknowledging his failure. He would serve between 20 and 30 years of flat time in prison with no possibility of early release. His sentencing was scheduled for November 21, 2025. He was ordered to turn himself in to be taken into custody on November 5th. But the case of Christopher Scholtes would take one last, shocking turn. On the very day he was set to begin his prison term, he was found dead. The Pima County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed his death, stating an investigation was underway. The man responsible for his daughter's death would never spend a day in prison for his crime. Parker's death was preventable. She didn't die because of malice. She died because of distraction, because of a momentary lapse that became permanent. Experts warn that even in mild weather, a parked car can become deadly in minutes. Children are especially vulnerable. And once the heat takes over, there's no going back. Her name was Parker Scholtes. She was 2 years old. She loved being around her sisters and had her whole life ahead of her. But on a hot July afternoon, she became the victim of one man's mistake, a mistake that cost her everything. And now, her story stands as a somber reminder that a moment of distraction can change a life forever. Look before you lock. Always check the back seat. Never assume, because no child should ever be forgotten.